ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं पदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागररघुनाथं सजीवं साधुवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सागरललिता शिवशाखावितं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरव प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवति पार्षदे सतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत सतत प्रकंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वनाथ देवी प्रणम हरि प्रिय वांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितनां भवनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। So we are continuing with the chapter name Approaching Krishna, the all-pervading truth, from the page number 15. Of course, Krishna has immense potencies by which he can supply as much as everyone wants. Eko bahunam yo vidyahati kaman. He supplies food to the elephants and he supplies food to the ant. So why not to the human being? But rascals do not know this. They work like asses day and night to find bread, and if they go to church, they pray, "Give me bread." They're concerned only with this bread problem. Although the living entity is the son of the richest, most opulent person, he has created a bread problem. This is called ignorance. He thinks if I do not solve my bread problem, if I do not drive my trucks day and night, how can I live? How can I live? This is the nonsense of our modern civilization. Where is there a bread problem? Krishna can supply unlimited amounts of bread. There are thousands of elephants in Africa, and Krishna supplies food to them. So if he can supply food to the elephants, why not to the human beings? The Bhagavatam therefore says, don't waste your time with this bread problem. Tasya eva hito prayate kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparayat. We should not waste our time with solving economic problems. Economic development is nonsense. Of course, this proposal is very revolutionary and people may even hate me for it. What is Swamiji saying? They may ask, but actually it is a fact. This economic development is madness. Suppose one has a rich father and enough food. Suppose one knows my father is the richest man in the city, where is one's economic problem? Actually, that is our position. We have no economic problem. Everything is completely provided. We want water, just see there are oceans of water. Of course, we want pure water, and although the ocean has so much water, when water is scarce, we shall have to take help from Krishna, who will evaporate the water and turns it into clouds. And then when the rain falls down, the water will be sweet. Otherwise, we cannot drink it. Everything is under control, and everything, water, light, heat, and so on, is complete. Om Purnamam Adha Purnamam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because He is the complete. Even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. Ishopanishad invocation. Krishna's stock is never exhausted. We must supply, we must simply become obedient to Him, and the supply will be there. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person has no economic problem. Everything is sufficiently supplied by Krishna. In Los Angeles, the neighbors of our temple are sometimes very envious. You do not work. They say to our Krishna conscious devotees, you have no anxiety, you have 4 cars, you are eating so nicely. How is that? Actually, they're right. Somehow or other, we are getting everything we need, and we have no problems for if one simply becomes sincere servant of Krishna. Everything is provided. They are envious of us because we do not work, but still we have so much. But don't they come join? But why don't they come join us? That they will not do. Come with us. We say chant Hare Krishna. No, no, no. That I cannot do. All right, then work with your trucks. By zooming around in their cars and trucks, they have made their own life dangerous, and they have created dangers further also. At any moment, there may be an accident, but they say this isn't civilization. Nonsense. This is not civilization. Civilization means calmness, prosperity, and shanti, peace. In peace and prosperity, one should be Krishna conscious always. People work so hard day and night and simply for a little food, not knowing that their food has already been provided. Avidya karm samajanya tritya shaktirishayate. Vishnu Purana 6.7.61. This material world is full of ignorance, avidya. Therefore, our endeavor should be to become free from this ignorance. It is only for this reason that we should work to come out of ignorance. We are thinking, I'm this material body. I have to work day and night, and I shall get my food and shall live. This is ignorance. We have lived this life of ignorance in forms of the dead of human being. We have lived in bird life, beast life, and so on. But now, in this life, we should be peaceful, calm, and quiet, and should simply inquire about the absolute truth. Jivasya tattva jigyasa, adhata brahma jigyasa. That should be one's occupation. We are simply sitting down and inquiring about Krishna, and this is what one should do. This is life. Why should one work day and night like an ass? What kind of life this is? No, this is not life. Therefore, the Bhagavatam says to one who is intelligent, Go Veda. Your life should be engaged for this purpose, for understanding the absolute truth. Then how will my economic problem will be solved? The answer is that the happiness one desires from economic development will automatically in due course of time. Will come automatically in due course of time. Talalabhayate Dukhavad Anyatha Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Shloka 18. We are looking for happiness. Are you looking for distress? No, sir. Then why does distress come upon you? If you are not eager for calamities and distress, why do they come upon you? According to our karma, our life holds some portion of happiness and some portion of distress. Therefore, if distress comes without invitation, happiness will also come without invitation. We are already destined to have certain amount of happiness and a certain amount of distress, and we cannot change that. The change we should make, therefore, is to get free from this material condition of life. That should be our only business. According to our karma, we are sometimes taking birth in a higher planetary system as demigods, and sometimes taking birth as cats and dogs or as jumps too. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Ek rupe Brahmanand, ek rupe Brahmand, Brahma भ्रमित कौन भाग्यवान जीवा गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाया भक्ति लता बीजा." According to the karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary system, and some are going down to lower planetary system. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seat of the keeper of devotional service. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.151. Only a fortunate living entity gets the opportunity to associate with Krishna and Krishna devotee. And in this way, he gets the seat of devotional service, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, and then his life becomes sublime. Kunti Devi, therefore, is pointing our attention toward Krishna, the Supreme Person, who is Alaksha, invisible to all. Who is that invisible person? Hey Krishna, oh Krishna, one may. There are so many Krishnas. Therefore, Kunti Devi says, I am offering my praise to Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. There are many Vasudevas. No Nand Gopa Kumariya. I am praying to the foster son of Maharaj Nand. In this way, three times she points out, here is Krishna, here is Krishna. Yes, so. Krishna officially takes birth as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, but in his childhood he enjoys the company of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. This is Krishna's pastime. Ananda Leela May Vigrahaya. Krishna's pastimes are jubilant. Anandamaya Bhyasat Vedanta Sutra 1.1.12. He is by nature full of bliss. We shall never find Krishna unhappy. Krishna is always happy, and whoever stays with him is also happy. Therefore, he is known as Govinda. The word go means senses. We are looking for sense gratification, and if we associate with Krishna, we shall enjoy our senses abundantly, just like the gopis who are dancing with Krishna. Thus, there is no scarcity of sense gratification. But this sense gratification association with Krishna is not gross sense gratification, not gross sense gratification. Rather, it is in the spiritual sense. Rather, it is in the spiritual sense gratification enjoyed in the spiritual world. Ananda Chinmaya Shatujvala Vigorasya. That Ananda or pleasure is not the third class Ananda we enjoy with our bodily senses. Such bodily enjoyment is not Ananda but illusion. We are thinking, I'm enjoying, but that ananda is not factual because we cannot enjoy this material pleasure of the sense for long. Everyone has experienced that this material pleasure comes to an end. A spiritual enjoyment, however, does not end. Where it increases. That is the difference. Ananda Chinmaya Shadujvala Vigrasya Govindam Adim Pusham Tam Ham Bhajami. Brahma Samhita 5.32. Therefore, we have to associate with Govinda. Here also it is said, Govinda Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances to Govinda. The Krishna consciousness movement is so sublime that it puts one directly in contact with Govinda. The worship of the deity of Krishna in the temple is also direct contact with Govinda. Shri Vigrahara Dhannitanana Shringaratan Mandir Marjanada Shri Guru Ashtaka 3. The Vigraha, the deity of Krishna, appears by Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna is Alaksha, invisible, he becomes visible to give us the facility to see him. It is not that Krishna is stone, wood, or metal. Krishna is always Krishna. Because we cannot see anything beyond material elements like wood, stone, metal, he appears in a form made of these elements. But he is neither wood, metal, or stone. When we associate with the deity, we associate with Krishna personally. Because Krishna is invisible. Krishna is invisible. He very kindly takes a form that is visible to us. That is Krishna's mercy. Do not think, oh, here is a stone, Krishna. Krishna is everything. And therefore, Krishna is stone also. But he is not kind of stone that cannot act. Even in the form of stone or metal, Krishna can act as Krishna. And one who worships the deity will perceive that. Swam eva spurathe the deity, although apparently stone, may speak with the devotee. There are many instances in which this has happened. I'm, I'm very pleased when my disciple nicely dressed the deity. Offer the deity nice foodstuffs, keeping the temple very clean. Shri Mandir Marjanado. Marjana means cleansing. When one dresses Krishna, cleanses the temple, the spiritual benefit one receives is the same. Don't think I'm only a cleanser and he's a dresser. No. The person the person who is dressing the deity and the person who is cleansing the temple are the same because Krishna is absolute. Therefore, one should engage in Krishna's service in any way. And one's life will be successful. That is Krishna consciousness movement. By the grace of Kunti Devi, we can understand that Krishna, Vasudeva, is the supreme personality of Godhead. The word Vasudeva also indicated the Lord is understood when one comes to the platform of pure goodness, which is also called Vasudeva or Visuddha Sattva. Sattvam Visuddham Vasudeva Sabdidam. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 4, Canto 4, chapter 3, Shloka 23. To understand the Supreme Lord, we must first come to the platform of sattva goodness. But goodness here is in this material sometimes contaminated by the lower qualities, ignorance and passion. By hearing about Krishna, however, one comes to the platform of pure goodness. Shivatam Sava Kathaha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. We should try to hear and chant about Krishna always, 24 hours a day. And in this way, the dirty things will be cleansed from our heart. It is not that one should only attend a Bhagavatam Saptah, an official reading of Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. It is another form of exploitation. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, Nasta Paraya Seva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. The word Nitya means daily or 24 hours a day. One should read, one should always read Srimad Bhagavatam and carry out the order of one spiritual master. The word Bhagavad may refer either to the spiritual master or to the book Srimad Bhagavatam. So one should always serve the person Bhagavat or the book Bhagavat. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki. Then one will be fixed immovably Nastik in devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, one should realize the benefits of the Krishna consciousness movement by the prescribed spiritual process and try to distribute these benefits to other people. To awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness of others, the greatest welfare activity in the world. We can actually see that devotees who are not Krishna conscious 4 or 5 years ago have been awakened and are now Krishna conscious. Similarly, others can be awakened also. There is no difficulty. The process is the time. By following in the footsteps of devotees like Kunti, we shall be able to understand Krishna's identity. For example, we may ask a person's identity by asking, what is your father's name? So Srimad Bhagavatam presents God with his father's name, his mother's name, and even his address. We are not impersonators with a vague idea of God. If one takes advantage of Krishna consciousness movement, one can understand God perfectly and completely. Moving to the next chapter, chapter 5, the vision of lotuses. नमः पंकज नभाय नमः पंकज मलिने नमः पंकज नेत्राय नमः ते पंकज लनघराय. My respective obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as a lotus, and whose feet are engraved with the lotus. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Shloka 22. Here are some of the specific symbolical marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguishes body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he is always distinct by his specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Shudra, the labor class, and the Dvija Bandhus, or the rich descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attribute, form, etc. of the supreme absolute truth. Such person, although Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa Vigraha who descends on the material world just to distribute the favors to the fallen soul, including the above mentioned women, Shudras and Dvaja Bandhus, because such fallen cannot see everything beyond matter. Because such fallen soul cannot see anything beyond the matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, and thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as Pankajanabi. The Pankajanabi Lord accepts the Archa Vigra, the transcendental form in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewels, a form made of paint, a form made of sand, etc. All such a form of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees, always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women. Shudras and Dujabandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple and worship the different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, as alleged by some man with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas established as temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent, one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually in the category of Shudras and the women are less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see Lord from the lotus feet because Lord might feel ashamed. Thus Kunti Devi, just to save painful situation, the Lord began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet. That is from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face, and then everything is in order.